The Arizona Coyotes skid continues as they lose their fifth straight game, yet to win in the year 2023. But that's okay because the tank is back on track. Welcome in. Thank you so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes postgame show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah Merrill here with Steve Peters. Craig Morgan will be calling in from Mullett Arena shortly. Petey, what are your initial reactions to this one?
This one's tougher because they came back to the Mullett. We were hoping for a little Mullett Magic, and the first period was the one I was most concerned about. And they had their wheels. They were skating well. Yeah. They were getting shots on goal. I thought this team looked pretty good. The reality is Pittsburgh needed this game more. Pittsburgh coaching staff has pulled these guys aside. They've had closed door meetings. Pittsburgh needed the win.
Yeah, they did.
And the Coyotes are still coming off that road trip. They're tired. Whoops. They're still tired. I'm not surprised it ended the way it did. Again, though, and I hate to be negative, but if Vejmelka is absolutely lights out, they might win this game.
Yeah.
That was not Vejmelka. That second one, oh boy, howdy. Like he slid into Section J on that one, I think, before Guentzel fired it into the empty net.
Can I just say something about that one really quick? That whole thing goes down, and yes, Karen pointed out I'm looking fancy. I was at the game. That is why I'm not in my usual PHNX hoodie. But that was right in front of us. Yep. And it happens, and I literally just turn and look down the media row, and everyone's face was like
you couldn't believe it happened.
What? What was that?
Couldn't believe it happened.
Yikes. That was not good.
Yes, that wasn't good. But you got to look at this. Is still a Pittsburgh Penguin team that still has Malkin and Crosby. Guentzel. Guentzel was on fire tonight. Thought he was going to get the hat trick.
I thought he was getting it. But
the Coyotes had a lot of individual performances that we didn't see against Chicago. Much better game tonight than against Chicago. Their feet were moving. They were getting pucks at the net. DeSmith held them in. Pittsburgh in it for the first 40 minutes. I thought the Coyotes looked much better. They were skating. They had offensive opportunities. And they lost. And they got closer to the bottom. So, yay.
Great. And thanks so much for joining us.
And good night.
And good night. Okay, well, let's look at the numbers tonight. And I always know the Coyotes are in for a loss when they can hold their own in shots on goal, which is what they did tonight. Only were outshot 28-24, which isn't that bad for them.
It's all the third period, too, because the third period is 12-3. Yeah. It was 21-16 through 2 Coyotes.
Yeah. And that's when you know the Coyotes.
And that's where DeSmith was good. And Nicholas said it too. Yeah. DeSmith was good. And he made the difference in this game through 40 minutes.
Yeah. No power play goals for either team tonight, which you got to give props to the Coyotes for not only killing off all those penalties, but also killing off a 4-minute double minor that they had at the end in the second. Yeah. Barrett Hayton, high stick face off 50-50. That's rare to see for this team. And hits 31-21, always a little chippy.
So
with
the power playing's the difference, though. I mean, the Barrett Hayton back-to-back, that could have made this 4-1 in the second. They did look better on the power play, or excuse me, on the penalty kill than they have.
There was times, Petey, that Pittsburgh, I was just thinking, wow, Pittsburgh's, they kind of, the ice is tilted in their favor a little bit. And then I remembered that the Coyotes were on a penalty kill, but it wasn't. The fact that I didn't notice there were only 4 Coyotes out there, I felt like was somewhat significant.
Yeah, they've given up 11 goals shorthanded in the last 9 games. They've been poor on the penalty kill. So for them to kill off 6 against one of the better power plays, I know statistically Pittsburgh's not one of the better power plays right now, but anytime you get Malkin, Crosby, Guentzel, Letang, it's a pretty good power play. Yeah. So if you can hold them to no goals through 6. Yep, great.
Yeah, and I know it's a 4-1 loss, but this one just feels so much better than that 2-0 snooze fest from the other night.
That was a bad hockey game.
It was just so awful.
That was a bad game.
And this one, there were things that were good that we could
there were highlights.
Yeah,
he had opportunities around the net. Krause had a great golden opportunity. Gostisbehere had a great opportunity. I think there were Bugstead early again and fumbled off his stick.
Oh my gosh, literally. Every game.
In the first minute.
Every game, Petey.
I know.
When he starts, he gets a breakaway. It's unreal. He just barely missed out on the shot on goal. Vaguely sober, always with the early super
from the
chat
DNVR.
From DNVR. We appreciate you, said PHNX. Chase that tank. Thank you so much for your support, Vaguely Sober.
Vaguely Sober gets the best of both worlds. He's got one team vying to win back-to-back cups, and he's got another team that's looking for the top pick in the draft. So you got the top and the bottom. like that's the best of both worlds. And as we know, he's vaguely sober. So cheers to that.
By the way, my friend Spencer in the chat saying Sidney Crosby's just okay at hockey. He literally has a shirt that says that.
Does he?
Yes, and it is very upsetting to me. So,
and it's true. And we talked about this before. Well, we will talk about it soon. So we'll segue into Sidney Crosby. But to be able to play as consistently as he has for as long as he has, and with the picture that got tweeted out yesterday with Crosby and Guenther about the passing of the torch for Team Canada
cool.
golden goals was really cool. Like the old guard and the new guard with the big goals for Team Canada. That was a really cool moment to see. But Sidney Crosby still has it on the ice, and I don't care what anybody says. You can't count out a team that has him on it. He's a captain. He's a leader. He's an offensive leader, and he makes things happen when he's on the ice.
Yep. And I had also talked to Dylan Guenther today about that conversation, and he just talked about how special it was.
It's really cool.
If you missed that video, it's on our Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. But just how iconic Sidney Crosby is, and it's cool for me too, like as a Canadian, getting to talk to Guenther and to Coach Tourigny and hear all about that, because I'm a Team Canada fan, and I've been a Sidney Crosby fan for a long time. So
I was curious to see how Gunther's transition was going to be today, because he's been playing against 18 to 20-year-olds for the last 2.5, 3 weeks, and now he's out there against NHL talent again, and we already mentioned Malkin and Crosby. I think he was okay. He only played 12 minutes, and we talked about the coach being able to kind of shelter him from minutes. He only played 12 minutes, but he still had 5 shot attempts, 3 on net. I think he was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if people expected him to come and light it up because he was good at the World Juniors, but I think he was good for his first game back after coming down off of an extremely high moment in his career. So I think he'll get his feet underneath him over the next few games before we start seeing what we were seeing out of him earlier in the year.
Yeah, and there was a moment tonight he got slammed in the boards. I forget by who, but Craig looked at me and said, "Welcome back to the NHL, Dylan Guenther." Yeah,
that was the moment too. Yeah. I felt like, oh gosh, do you remember you're playing against men out here now?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Not quite as easy as it maybe was for him all along.
Can we talk about Jacob for a minute?
Jacob Franklin.
This is like our third producer.
Producer musical chairs.
Yeah. Third
this is
producer
what happens
and third
when
game
Sean goes on vacation
with Jacob. And Jacob has been working very hard today because he has just done the Marathon Cardinal show. He was producing
an hour and 40 minutes, guys.
Hour and 40 minutes live. Like, buddy, that's a whole week of shows for us. An hour and 40 minutes. That Cardinal, they guys got a lot to talk about when they get their ass kicked. I don't know. A tough loss today by the Cardinals. But the only reason I wanted to point this out with Jacob behind the Mac and on the mic is Jacob's wife is due literally at any moment.
Yep.
So he could get up in the middle of the show, and we could have.
I apologize if I leave this show driverless.
Yeah, don't apologize.
We'll just keep going.
So just everybody forewarned, it could be happening.
Yep. It could.
So
it could, but
and that'd be a great
we
thing.
appreciate Jacob for steering the ship tonight.
Jacob Tall AF Franklin. There's Caleb.
And Faj, as he's known on the D-Back show, Father or Overlord Jacob. Yeah. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Well, let's talk about your keys.
Caleb, I tried. I already went with Steve or Stevie because you can't go wrong.
It's a girl.
But you go Stevie with an IE.
Fine.
Anyway, what are we going, keys?
Yeah, let's look at your keys from today and see how they did.
Jet lagged. We talked about them coming back after a long road trip. Didn't skate in the morning, survived the first ding that they get that one. That's successful.
Yeah.
That was great. They were great in the first period, out shooting, come out with a 1-0 lead. Sid the Kid, we already talked about. He averages over 1.5 points a game. He's got 34 points in 22 career games against the Coyotes. You stop Sid, you have a chance. They didn't stop Sid. He gets 2 assists, enough to beat them on his own. And the Mullett Magic, not only has Pittsburgh lost 4 straight on the road, the Coyotes had 1-3 at home. And it is finally worn off.
I will say the first period, I thought, maybe the Mullett Magic is still going. Yeah,
I thought it was real.
You really felt it. I think there is something to the Mullett. Like there really is, and there were a lot of Penguins fans there tonight, but it didn't take away from the energy for the Coyotes, and the Coyotes fans still had their voices definitely heard.
So you've been there now, beginning of the season, middle of the season, and tonight.
Yes.
Has the excitement waned at all, or is it still just as exciting?
I think it's still just as exciting. I think this first year, because every team's coming in for the first time, it's exciting and it was cool. And Craig said this to me before the game during warmups. It's really cool to see visiting team fans' reactions to the building every time. And it's cool. People have now started to discover the place where the players
come off
the visiting team, and you can just go, and there's literally all that's separating you is glass from like these NHL players. So
yeah, it is.
I went over
cool.
there just to see because Petey and I went at the Leafs game.
Toronto.
There weren't that many fans there. We were shocked, but the Penguins fans found it. They found it.
Yeah.
They definitely found
it. Yeah,
it.
because it's actually really cool to get to see all of those guys walk right by you. I think it's really cool.
It is really cool.
It's a cool moment.
It is very cool.
That you don't find in most rinks.
No, you absolutely don't. Great access.
So there's that.
Yeah, there is that. We'll talk about Dylan Guenther a little bit more when Craig gets here because we have some video, but we'll wait for Craig on that. Let's talk about Barrett Hayton, who hasn't really had the season I think we all expected from him, wanted from him necessarily. But like we've been talking about as of late, he really has been picking up his play. What was it? 7 points in his last 6 games?
Yep, 7 points in
so
6.
He's really starting to step it up. And it was really, really great to see him, to quote Tyson Nash, find the back of the net tonight on a really great play from Keller and Schmaltz to score only his 3rd goal of the season, but we see it on the stat sheet.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's heating up. He's heating up slowly. And it wasn't just that. He wanted it tonight. You can tell he kind of got some confidence from that goal and was really hungry the rest of the night.
And the other thing, too, is they put him in the middle of Schmaltz and Keller. So you got him on the top line now. Boyd is getting a lot fewer minutes now, and he was kind of relegated down there, switching in and out with Cassian. I thought Hayton looked good there. And there was a moment, not only did Hayton look good on that line, Keller looked much better tonight than he has in the last 2 on this road trip. I thought this was Keller getting back to what he does best. He distributed the puck well and skated well. And if Barrett Hayton can hold on that line and continue to play with those 2 guys, I really believe he's going to get more points because Keller and Schmaltz can both distribute the puck. And if Hayton can get to the blue paint like he did tonight, I would think he's going to start putting some goals in to the back of the net.
To the back of the net. So the Coyotes, they only scored once tonight, and it was, of course, Barrett Hayton. So we're going to crown Barrett Hayton tonight's DraftKings King of the Game with his 1 goal tonight. Shout out Barrett Hayton for picking up the pace. How many shots on goal did he?
Just the one.
Just the one?
Yeah, he gets 1 shot, 1 goal. That's how he rolls.
Why not? But like I said, he looked hungry tonight. And I did like him on that line. I liked it was kind of, that younger, more skilled line. So congrats to Barrett Hayton for his goal tonight. Congrats on being named tonight's DraftKings King of the Game.
What if that's a shave again? Or did we even notice? Because remember he had that horrible splotchy beard and then he scored and then he shaved it off. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't shaved since then because he's not a real good beard grower and I know he's probably listening.
Sorry, Barrett.
So I didn't know if he has to shave again. Very efficient, as Caleb would say. He's very fit. 1 shot, 1 goal.
Yep. Exactly. So if you maybe now that he's heating up, you might want to sprinkle some money on him on DraftKings. Maybe like just $1 or something.
Yeah, just sprinkle.
You could have won yourself some money. Sidney Crosby over 1.5 or
somebody might have done that in the room.
Just saying. Maybe some other bet winner. You did well in the NFL today.
I did. I was 4 for 5.
Yeah.
Go Vikings. Crushed it. Yep.
Crushed it.
I crushed it.
Listen, you want to win?
Not so much.
It's okay. You win some, you lose some. Truly.
See, that's Caleb, what we Barrett Hayton might be sooner than you think.
Very true.
Stay tuned,
I know we've been teasing
it, but they never practiced.
But that's going to be the thing that finally he's going to take off from that, I swear. And listen, here's my insider tip. After Petey does walking and talking with Barrett Hayton, put money on him on the DraftKings Sportsbook app because we have seen 3 times now, 3 times that they take about a week, and then that next week, boom.
Keller, hat trick. Schmaltz, points in 5. Fisher, goal and an assist. But it takes about a week.
Yeah, so that's my insider tip. So if you want to win yourself some money on DraftKings, you can do so right now. If you sign up with that promo code PHNX, place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game. You'll get $150 in free bets. If they do, that's code PHNX only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And what are you drinking right now, by the way?
Kilt lifter. But I put it in a Four Peaks
koozie. Love it.
Four Peaks koozie. But it's a kilt lifter again.
Are you excited for the tea party?
Can't wait.
On Friday?
Heaters. If there were not heaters, I don't know if I'd be as excited.
There will be.
Just saying. Craig and I will be in parkas.
I promise there will be heaters. Saw Drew at the game tonight. Craig and I talked to him. Drew is going. Drew's really excited and asked which one of us is the worst golfer. I said it was me. You, me, or Craig? Who's the worst golfer? I said it's me.
Yeah, Yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to like tear it up, but
like the bar is on the floor.
The bar is pretty low.
It's on the floor.
The bar is pretty low. I have played before.
Yeah, no. So it's
Craig is going to tell us he's great. He's got a hip injury.
No. He said he's fine. He said he used to review golf courses.
Oh.
So he's
there
golfed.
You go.
But we're really excited for this Friday. I can't wait. It's going to be a really, really fun event. And of course, I'm talking about the inaugural PHNX Tee Party presented by Four Peaks at Dobson Ranch Golf Course on Friday, the 13th at 5:30 p.m. Check the link in the description to reserve your spot right now. $36 per person, $120 for a foursome, unlimited range balls. Like I said, there's going to be heaters, mini games, cornhole, pickleball. I can't wait. Ping pong, contest entries, hot chocolate, heaters, free kids clinic for kids 10 and under. So bring your kids out. Big Drive Energy will be there. The PHNX crew, PHNX Suns crew, big screens to watch Suns Timberwolves. It's going to be a blast. And Four Peaks, of course, giving out free samples there. So cannot wait for this one on Friday. Hope to see you there. All right. Well, he's here. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Craig. Hello, Craig.
What's up, guys?
I feel like I just saw you 5 minutes ago.
You did.
And I was distracting you all game long. I kept talking to you.
It was all right. It was a good game in which to be distracted, let's be honest.
Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe the Mullett Magic wasn't quite there as much as it has been in the past.
Yeah. Listen, Andre Tourigny actually liked their effort. Just thought they couldn't finish tonight. I mean, I didn't think the Coyotes had a ton of great chances in this game, but they played a competitive game against a team that really needed a win in the Penguins, who had been struggling recently. So give it up for them in that sense. And we all know what the schedule has thrown at the Coyotes recently too, and it's just going to get uglier and uglier here in the month of January.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier. But I guess it's a good thing for us in this position looking at tank, because 5 straight losses. And guess who won tonight, Craig?
I saw it.
The Chicago Blackhawks.
They are only 7 points from the basement now. That's interesting to me. I mean, it's not quite as close as you'd like to be, but if it gets a little closer with 3 meetings left with the Blackhawks, we'll see. We'll see.
Listen, I don't think Anaheim's going to win tonight, though. It's 4-1 Boston right now in the second.
I don't know if they're getting
it.
You win some, you lose some. Columbus lost 1-0.
I know.
Come on.
But if Chicago was on a little bit of a heater, and we saw this last year with the Coyotes, where it got to the springtime and the Coyotes go on that road trip, get on a little bit of a tear. Chicago just needs to win like 3 or 4 for this gap to really close, because they play so many games head to head. So this, as I thought maybe 2 weeks ago there was no chance, I'm saying there's a chance.
I've been saying there's a lot of games left. So
a lot of hockey left.
You never know.
And you know what? I thought the effort was there, Craig, but this was a game that once it got through the first period and they were ahead 1-0, I go, gosh, it's just a matter of time. I just felt like Pittsburgh just kept coming, and they had the better chances, I thought. And I'll hate to say this, but Veggie gave up now 5-5, 6-4. Oh, that was an empty netter. 5-5, 6-3. We have not seen the Veggie that we saw earlier in the season, and that, I guess, bodes well for the tank, because that's the one thing that's been holding them in games.
He's been the difference maker.
He's been the difference.
And it is interesting to note that ever since he struggled, so is the team.
Yeah, he was the biggest reason for them. We've talked about this being where they were before. The second goal in particular was a rough one to give up, because that's you're behind in this game where you felt like you had done some good things. And I'm sure you guys mentioned this as well, all the power plays against for Pittsburgh. Was it 6 power plays they had tonight? Yeah,
it was 6.
So,
and didn't you feel like they were going to score on those, Craig? Like, they had some really good looks there and just couldn't put it away. And it wasn't they were great saves. Like, Malkin has the one, like, it's in, but he puts it back into Vejmelka. It was very strange. So I thought their power play was buzzing. I thought Guentzel he had an empty net on the power play that he just misses. I think they got away with one there, and they can't take that many penalties again. They just can't. This team isn't good enough. They did kill penalties better tonight than they have in nearly a month, but they cannot sit in the box 6 times. They can't. They're not good enough to do that.
Right, but if they want to go ahead and do that against the San Jose Sharks, they can go.
Sure.
Ahead and do that.
Is that who's next?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about that later. I don't pay attention. I don't read the emails.
We know.
One day at a time.
We know. Craig, who else did you talk to tonight besides Coach Tourigny?
Just Barrett Hayton tonight. It was a light night, and Barrett, of course, got the opportunity to play between Nick Schmaltz and Clayton Keller. I think Barrett Hayton's been a lot better the last several games. and that's part of the opportunity for moving up there. I'm sure they're also not seeing a lot of magic with Travis Boyd lately, so you make that change, give Barrett an opportunity. He scored a nice goal tonight. It was a nice setup from Kels, but he had to pick it out of the air. It was off the ice. That was a nice goal, and I think Barrett Hayton's been doing some nice things. So let's roll with that for a while. Let him see what he can do between those two guys. I know he wants to play with skilled players and believes that he can. So it's interesting to watch.
Absolutely. Barrett Hayton, of course, was once a hero for Team Canada with that big tying goal in that gold medal game, and Dylan Guenther made his return to the Arizona Coyotes lineup tonight after being out for, what is that, like about a month at the World Juniors? Crazy that he's been gone so long, but he was back in the lineup tonight. We already touched on it a little bit. He didn't look, I guess okay is what we decided.
Yeah, Guenther was okay.
I mentioned that hit that he had where you and I looked at each other, Craig, and said, you're back in the NHL, but what did you think of Guenther tonight?
Yeah, when Jeff Carter kind of just shrugged him off the play with his shoulder. Yeah, and that's the thing. I talked to Bill Armstrong about, and he said the adjustment he's going to make more than anything else is going to be the physicality of the game. You're not playing against such strong players at World Juniors, and we saw it in the first period. I thought he was okay. He was matched up against Sidney Crosby's line a lot of the night tonight. That's a really tough thing to come back to. Even when you're playing on the biggest stage of the World Juniors, it's not anywhere near the same class as going up against Sidney Crosby's line. So he was all right. I didn't think that he necessarily hurt them in any way, but we've talked about this before. When Dylan Guenther was here before, he was pretty sheltered, guys. Listen, I'm just going to come out and say it. I didn't think Dylan Guenther was quite ready for this season. I still think it was a tough situation, of course, because do you send him back to the dub? Is he really going to develop in that situation? Does Dylan Guenther need any more confidence? It's just, I look at him physically, and I don't think he's quite there yet. It's just a shame, once again, that he can't go down to the A and develop down there, because I think it would do him some good.
And it was just a completely different story if Nick Schmaltz doesn't get hurt in training camp or the first game of the year and he's gone misses 2 months. If he's healthy, maybe that changes for Guenther, because we saw what Seattle did and they sent Shane Wright down and put him back with his junior team. Is that, we've talked about this ad nauseum all summer long on where Guenther should be. And he's played well here. And now he's got the gold medal, and that's what we want him to go do and show those things. But for his physical development, just physically, not his hands, not his skill, not his shot, just physically big enough. And that's what you said when Carter just pushes him and swats him like a fly. And we saw how much Barrett Hayton developed over those few years when he was junior eligible till now. Like, Barrett Hayton's become a man. I mean, Dylan Guenther's still young, and he's got a long way to go. And his development, every step will get better. But to Craig's point, the physical part is the one piece that he probably needs to work on getting ready for next year.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about this, Petey. Leah and I were talking about this at the game tonight. You get a guy comes up, and Bill Armstrong said, and I'm going to have something in a neutral zone tomorrow. He's here to play now. You're not going to worry about limiting him to below 40 games now, and keeping him that extra year before he becomes an unrestricted free agent. All that's off the table now. He's here to play for the rest of the season. But when you get to next season, This is the thing that I always think is interesting with players. Once they've got a taste of the NHL, they played a full year. If you believe at the start of next season that there is value in putting Dylan Guenther in the A and he will be eligible, can you do it? What's the challenge as a coaching staff telling a guy after he's played a whole year in the NHL, hey, we're going to put you back in the A because we think you need to develop?
Well, you saw it with Barrett Hayton. Like, Barrett Hayton had to go back down, and you're like, what? Like, wait, what? I'm going where? Like, I'm an NHL player. And another player, you're talking that whole Kyle Turris, Bodker, Tikhonov, where they were all given the torch right away. And then the next year it's like, no, you're going down. And it's like, wait a minute. No, I'm not. I'm an NHL player. And then I think it's really hard. I think it's demoralizing. I think it's hard for them to get focused on the task at hand and get better. I think that gives almost inherently a slow start for that player. It's hard. It's a real big challenge. And that's, to your point, if you go from junior to the American League to the NHL, okay, that's a natural progression. But now you've played in the National Hockey League. Your expectations are, I'm a National Hockey League player. It's hard. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that path. Barring injuries, and he has to go for a conditioning stint, I don't see it happening. Whether it's the right plan or not, Craig, I just don't see it.
It's too bad, because there's a side of me that, And listen, I don't know what his summer is going to look like. A lot of it will depend on that, right? What if he puts on 10 pounds of muscle and looks a lot different? That could change things as well. But I'm intrigued by the idea, at least, and I don't know what Logan Cooley's going to do, but I'm intrigued by the idea of Logan Cooley and Dylan Guenther and whoever the hell else they get out of this draft playing in the AHL next season, developing sort of that Tampa model where you bring guys up after they've learned to play the pro game. I'm intrigued by that, at least. I don't know if it'll happen, but I do think that in some cases there's value to that.
Well, and we saw what they did in Tampa. They won. And they go out of the American League and you win. I mean, it's a big difference. It prepares you to win, and let them be a big deal there. I like the plan. I like the idea, Craig. I just don't see that's what's going to happen here. If Logan Cooley leaves college, he's coming here. And
did you see his goal tonight, by the way?
I know.
Oh, my God. His overtime winner for Minnesota.
One more thing, Craig.
Unreal.
JMT asked about the Chikrin scare when he didn't start the second period. Did you notice that he didn't start the second period?
Yeah, we did notice. We were talking about it, but I didn't ask about it.
Yeah, because he came back.
By
and
the
played.
time we noticed he was gone, he was back.
Yeah.
And then he was back on
It
that.
just happens, Petey, you know this. It happens so often, right? Guys will go off for an equipment adjustment or some minor thing that, I don't know, some minor injury that they come back for. So when a guy comes back in the same period, I don't think that much of it.
And at the Mullett specifically, the annex is so far away that any kind of equipment issue, or even if it's you don't even need a Band-Aid, like that annex that's a ways away. So yeah, that delay is not a big deal, but it did bring to mind to me, what if? And he's a player that's been hurt so many times, and the trade deadline's coming.
Stop.
Get this shit done.
Stop.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay,
Sorry.
I want to keep talking about. We were not quite done talking about Dylan Guenther.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay because we did talk to him.
You're driving.
We did talk to him today. And speaking of just confidence and his ability to play in this league, I thought him having a really good tournament that he did, second in goals in the tournament, only behind Bedard. Obviously, the overtime gold medal winning game for Team Canada. That's got to give a guy confidence. And even though maybe, tonight he didn't come back in the lineup and have this, unbelievable storybook game, I hope it only helps to serve him in his confidence. And we spoke with him a little bit earlier today about what the tournament did for his confidence.
It builds confidence. You go out there and you play with guys your own age. You touch the puck a little bit more, play a little bit more, play in different situations, and score some goals. And I think just builds confidence. And just looking to take that into the season here. Craig
looking real good in the background of that one.
Who was that good-looking guy in the background?
I got the gray highlights in my hair before that shot. So
he does look darker here, though. I don't know if it's the lighting he uses or what, but he had the gray in there. Shit, he must have seen it and touched up before the show. Or it's a different wig, guys. One or the other.
I learned from a failed politician how to filter myself for these shows. So
wow, he was lurking.
The glow. But we also talked with Coach Tourigny because, first of all, let's talk a little bit about Coach Tourigny's background, because I don't even think I realized this until Craig started asking him all these questions. And then Craig said, look up his elite prospects. How many coaching staffs Coach Tourigny's been a part of with the World Junior team, Team Canada, including winning a gold medal. He's been an assistant coach 4 times for Team Canada, won that gold medal in 2020. And before he got hired to be the Coyotes head coach, Craig, he was hired for a multi-year deal with Team Canada to be their coach. So, I mean, he has a lot of background, and he definitely seemed very happy that Canada took home gold this year.
Yeah, it definitely meant a lot to him. He was embedded in Hockey Canada for so long, and had he not had this opportunity with the Coyotes, he would have stayed there. As you just mentioned, he got a multi-year deal with Hockey Canada, and that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen very often. I think it hadn't happened in 14, 15 years when he got that deal. So they clearly thought very highly of him, and he had done so much work with them on so many different levels. This definitely meant a lot to Andre Tourigny, maybe just as much as it meant to Dylan Guenther. Yeah,
absolutely. And again, that clip is also on our Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes, him talking about just what it means to him to see Team Canada win, but also as Dylan Guenther's coach, what it means for him to see Dylan have that success. And then Craig also asked Coach Tourigny about what this win and what his success at the World Junior could do for him long term, not just in this game tonight, but in the coming weeks. And this is what Coach Tourigny had to say.
Well, and beyond, I think he's like I said, he experienced adversity, he experienced overcoming adversity, he experienced things did not go the way they expect. They arrived in that tournament flying high, and they got humbled right from the get-go the first game. So I think that's part of adversity. Unfortunately, in life, as a human being, we learn more through adversity than through success. When you have success, it's party time. Everything's good. You see life in pink. Everything's good. When you get hit in life, then now everything's dark, and you realize, okay, that's not that easy, and you learn a lot. You make an adjustment, and Dylan went through that during that tournament and at different levels. So I think when you're young like him, the low are lower and the high are higher, and at some point you learn to be more even keel and to be able to sustain.
I love when Coach Tourigny just starts giving just giving life lessons to media.
Yeah.
It was about Dylan Guenther's plan, and he's like, oh, the lows in life, and you learn more from I was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. But it is so true. And I think we have to remind ourselves too that Dylan Guenther is 19 years old. He is so young, and what he said about the lows being low and the highs being high, and as you get older and more mature, you're more, even in the middle. So it was interesting to hear his take, and especially as someone like we already talked about who has been, part of coaching these young guys, not only with Team Canada, but when in his job in the OHL before.
Craig,
life in pink, guys. What does that mean? You start
seeing rose-colored glasses.
I like this. I that might have to become an expression that we adopt.
We also got an opportunity,
opportunity.
We did. Second quote in. That was well done. I think that we should give ourselves credit for that.
I know. I think so too.
Craig, Fox 2001 has asked. I thought Craig was taller, 5'10" or 5'11". Only when he stands on a phone book or his wallet.
Look, how about
is
now?
He 5'10". There.
I barely fit in this frame. It's so hard. I'm so tall.
I don't know, maybe in the program, but everybody lies in the program anyway, right?
I mean, Dylan Guenther's 6'2", so
yeah, whatever.
Just he was
Craig's
standing
tall.
behind.
Craig was ducking to get out of the shot.
Yeah, I don't want to get in.
Because Fox doesn't live here in Phoenix, so he hasn't seen you at the Mullett, so he just thinks you're taller, and maybe you are.
Keep that idea in your head. I'm fine with that. It's not true. It's not true, but go ahead and hold on to that. Yeah, I like that.
Also, Charles saying Coach Bear TED Talks. I would totally watch that.
Money.
Especially in his accent.
Opportunity.
And that would be the title of his TED Talk would be Life in Pink.
Life in Pink.
Love it.
And then the subtitle is How to Seize Life's Opportunities.
Yep. I'm in.
Love it.
Nice.
We should do it. We'll suggest that to him next time. Craig, any other final thoughts from you before we let you go today?
No, just have a neutral zone up tomorrow. I mentioned I'm talking about Dylan Guenther and the plan for him. Guess what else I asked about again today? 11 forwards and 7D, and the fact that the Coyotes lead the league in too many men on the ice penalties. So
you asked?
I asked.
Oh,
there will be a note on that tomorrow in the neutral zone.
All right, we will definitely check that out. Thanks, Craig.
All right, guys.
That's it.
See you soon.
Bye.
See you, Craig.
All right. Well,
it's a lot more fun when we beat Toronto.
I know.
Than this.
I know.
It kind of feels like last year.
And we're kind of in the dog days now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, seeing now Chicago win multiple games in a row, and they're kind of going through their fun
what we
streak.
went through. Yeah.
But you know what? Whatever. It's fine. Because for the most part, when we watch these games, we're reclined in our seats with a freaking Four Peaks beer.
Yeah, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, charging my phone.
So
it really could be a lot worse for us here. And if you want that viewing experience too, you can get yourself a recliner at More Furniture, and I highly recommend it, honestly, or just any of the amazing furniture out at More Furniture, because it's all incredibly comfortable. And if you're, been procrastinating, getting new furniture, now's the time, start of the new year, get some furniture, and More has a great selection. Obviously, they hooked up our entire office, and we absolutely love it. So save big on the best furniture in the Valley when you head to morefurniture.com, morfurniture.com, and I wish we did an underdog fantasy draft tonight because there was a lot of interest in this game specifically. Unfortunately, the one we did the other night was like the worst slate of games possible. When we were at dinner before the Blackhawks Coyotes games, me, Petey, Saul, and Shane, we did an underdog fantasy draft, and the slate of games was Coyotes, Blackhawks,
Anaheim, San
Jose, Calgary, and like Columbus or something. I don't remember what it was. It was horrible. And Saul, who knows the least about hockey out of all four
and
of us,
didn't want to do it.
Didn't want to do it. Did it because it's so easy, and we were all doing it, and he had FOMO. Won.
Versus the hockey crew that watches hockey and knows all the players. Saul didn't even know the players' names.
No. And guess who was his goalie? Connor Ingram. Connor Ingram.
He took Connor Ingram first overall.
And he won.
And that's with Huberdeau playing, and Nazem Kadri was playing, and Terry and Zegras were playing. He took Connor Ingram first overall in the draft.
And he won.
So
just goes to show.
I guess the point is easy.
It's easy, and we could have chosen a better slate of games, like because you can actually do it by slate. So, you win some, you lose some. It's so much fun. Like we said, the whole thing took 4 minutes total. It's just a lot of fun to use underdog fantasy. So you can do something like that. You can also do pick'em, so higher or lower on player point totals. Again, makes it super entertaining to watch a game. So check out Underdog Fantasy if you haven't already. Sign up with the promo code PHNX, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. So make sure when you sign up, you put your money in there right away, so they'll double it for you. And scan this QR code if you're watching on YouTube to download it. Did you do one today? Oh, it didn't go so well for you.
Didn't go so well. A lot of red.
It's okay. You can buy insurance though. And,
I know, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to win my 5 into 100.
Just putting that out there as a thought. But Petey, I guess like overall tonight, in terms of the grand scope, great.
Yeah,
like
great.
We're not gonna look back and say good thing. Like the Coyotes beating the Leafs, we're gonna look back and say thank God they beat the Leafs.
Yes.
Like, we're not going to say, thank God they beat the Penguins, whatever. Like, HK, 4-1 loss. It's January 8th. 5th loss in a row. Great. We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this skid, to be honest.
And the difference between the Chicago game and as a Chicago fan, we talked to the CHGO show, and they're like, God, this last game was so exciting. It was one of our best games. We're like, oh, my God, that was awful.
I know.
And our game tonight, Barrett Hayton gets a great goal. Keller has plenty of chances at the net. I thought there was offensive opportunities.
Boogie breakaway.
Cross in front of the net. Boogie breakaway. Crosby stopped on a breakaway by Vejmelka. We had all kinds of stuff. By the way,
how about Boogie going up against Crosby? Like, that was the center matchup.
I know. That they defended them well all night long.
Yeah.
And and not so much, but I had to say that anyway for Boogie. Sorry, Boogie. I'm trying to help you out. But there were positives out of this game, even though they lost it. They skated better. They moved the puck better. They had more offensive opportunities. They had more shots on goal. So much better than they played against Chicago. They had some energy and some life. Something to build on going into their next game. So, I think it's a good game for them. And I know they lose 4-1, but
like Craig said, Coach Tourigny said he liked their effort.
Yeah, like the effort. And that's all this team can expect is having a good effort, and they did.
And 24 shots on goal to 28, like they had their chances. And honestly, like Nicholas said earlier in the chat, DeSmith was better than Veggie, and that was like one that and the number of penalties was the big difference in this game. And those are two things that they can tidy up. What?
I did Caleb. I hope Caleb's drunk. And it's a day that ends in Y, so he probably is.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm gonna keep this train going. By the way, quick little note. Ingram was not dressed tonight. He's out with an illness. So Prozatov was recalled from Tucson, so he backed up Veggie.
We'll find out more tomorrow on that.
So we'll find out more. Also, the Coyotes sent down Carconi to make room for Dylan Guenther coming back. So that's a little bit of a bummer because we talked about he had to play so well that they couldn't send him down. Just, with the way things are with how Coach Tourigny likes to formulate his lineup, there just wasn't a place for him. But I don't think this is the last. We'll see Carconi.
Now Carconi came up here, had success, played really well, and now he can go down there and continue on the pace that he was on before in the American League, where he was on pace to set a record for the all-time points by a Roadrunner. So I hope, and you know what? We know Carconi. We've had him on the show before. He's a guy that's not going to go down there and pout. He's going to go down there and be the leader he was before he got called up, and he's going to continue to do good things. So I you know what? He'll be ready for the next time they call him, and that's all he can do. He go down there and continue to work hard and play the best that you can down in the American League and be ready to go. And Carconi did exactly what was asked of him. So I'm excited because Leah and I are going to take a trip down the I-10 in the next month, and we're going to
once
get a
the
chance to
Coyotes
talk about
stop playing 4 games a week every week for 3 weeks, including back-to-backs on weekends.
Jeez.
We'll take a trip down the I-10. Which, by the way, I was walking into the arena tonight, like behind the players, and I overheard Christian Fisher talking about that. He was saying to someone like, "Yeah, we play like every other night." I'm like, "Yep."
Yeah, they do.
I know. And
They play so much.
I know they do. So let's take a look at the schedule for this week coming up. We got San Jose Tuesday, Ottawa Thursday, both of those at home, and then on the road to Petey's Minnesota. So I think Tuesday is another kind of must lose, much like the Flyers in Chicago. And then whatever else they do from there. But
it's funny because San Jose is struggling, but they still have some really quality players. So much Hurdle. They got Carlson's on a tear. Yeah. His numbers, he's an all-star again this year. So if they get good goaltending, this could be a battle. I mean, this is one of those games. These two teams continually, and here's what I'm going to throw out. I don't know if it's a DraftKings thing. This is one I could see going to overtime. They always seem to go to overtime or shootout against the San Jose Sharks. So I'm going to say
an 8 p.m. start.
Yeah, 4-3 overtime. 4-3 overtime. I'm not ready to pick who wins, but that game's going to overtime. And
you can bet exact score on DraftKings.
4-3 overtime. Okay. And then Ottawa, buddy, hit the over. I don't know. Ottawa brings out the best of both teams.
That was when Schmaltz
got 7.
7.9.
Yep. So I'm taking the over in that one, and then Minnesota, we'll see. That's a ways off.
All right. Well, that's what's coming up this week, and of course we'll be live after all of those games, so stay tuned. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. It means a lot to us, so please do that now. And also, while you're watching this, hit the like button on this YouTube video. We really would appreciate that immensely as well. And let's last but not least, what?
Nothing. I was just looking at the thing. That's really cool.
Oh, the little animation. I know this is what happens when Jacob
did the little animation with the thumbs up.
Love it. Let's take a look at the punch card, and I don't know. It's still expired?
I tell you what, DP, his instructions that he left on this is the most difficult graphic. And you think it's just a colored star with a dot, but he made it so goddamn hard.
Like 8 steps that make no sense.
Yeah, there's 8 steps to put a star in. Like, well, then you do this, and then you overlay that, and then you cut and paste. What?
So we might have to wait till Sean gets
DP will be back.
Before the punch
Was
card.
he back Tuesday?
No, Thursday.
He'll
be back for Thursday.
All right.
But I hope he's having a nice time back home in Buffalo. He deserves some time.
Yeah, well, he went to the Crunch game.
He did. He went to the Syracuse Crunch game, and I'm sure
How did he get tickets?
I'm sure he used Game Time.
Game Time, for sure.
I mean, duh. Why not? Why would he not do that? Especially, I'm sure he was waiting to see who was going to go. It was very last minute. Game Time is the best place to buy tickets last minute. So lots of Coyotes home games coming up, like we saw in the upcoming schedule, but not just this week. Like every Tuesday, Thursday in January, they're home.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So if you want to come out to any of those games, get your tickets on Game Time. Save up to 60% off when you buy last minute, and use the link below in our description. It's the best way to support us, and we would really appreciate if you did that. And then just let us know which events you're going to. Not just sporting events, but concerts.
Taylor Swift. No.
Nah.
I'm just kidding.
No, someone could offer me tickets for $1 and I would say no.
Go?
Well, actually, I would buy them and then I would resell them for a lot more. But anywho, so check out Game Time. And also, when Craig was here, he mentioned some stories coming out on gophnx.com, including some that are for diehards only, which they're unbelievable. You know, he really puts in a lot of work, talks to a lot of people for these stories. So become a diehard. Not only do you get access to those, you get 20% off merchandise, 20% off our events, and check out all the new hoodies in the locker as well.
I wore my hoodie tonight.
Yeah, your diehard zip up.
Yep.
This shirt that Petey has on right now. All that 20% off in the locker, including that diehard zip up. So you can only get that if you're a diehard. So if you want to become a diehard, and also join our Discord, it's a lot of fun.
Diehard.
Just saying.
Discord.
Head on over to gophnx.com/diehard to join the fan.
There's one problem with the diehard hoodie.
What?
It's only winter in Arizona for a week. So I've got to wear it for 3 more days, and then it's going to be 110. So
this weekend it's supposed to be 50.
Seriously?
90.
Oh, buddy, I'm all over the diehard hoodie.
And by this weekend, I mean next weekend.
Next weekend. And one more thing.
I can't think about that right now.
Well, I'm on it, and we've just talked about the number of games in the next month here.
Yeah.
Is it too late for me to learn football and be on that show? Because you know how many shows and games they have? They have 17. 17. We have that this month. We have 17. Like, I want to be on that show. Oh, I got to come in on Sunday? Yeah, I think I can swing that. I was thinking I'm fitting into my schedule. Like, we got 4 games this week. I'll talk to Frank, see if we can switch.
Yeah, I'd like to see Frank Sanders talking hockey.
Yeah.
Just like that clip on Twitter of Zaven Collins not understanding how hockey works.
Yeah, the things. What are those things on their feet? Those big boots.
Skates? Like, oh my God, that was so funny.
Yeah.
Somebody get that man to a Coyotes
If
game.
you know, you know. If you don't, never mind.
It's okay. I'm sure you've seen it on social media this week. It was amazing. Any final thoughts before we go tonight?
No, you know what?
Oh, puzzle update.
Puzzle update, Kenny.
Petey's in-laws are leaving tomorrow, by the way.
They are leaving tomorrow. The 3 weeks is up. And there are 2 puzzles we will display on Tuesday and Thursday. Because I'll be at home on Tuesday and Thursday, and we'll bring out the last 2 puzzles. They were completed. And I tell you what, like I helped them pack the car. They're not leaving until tomorrow. I had that car packed by noon today. I said, you guys, like the car turned around, it's gas. I said, you guys want to start it and warm it up? Like, let's go. God. The 3 weeks, does anybody have guests for 3 weeks at their house? Has anybody done that before?
No, it sounds not fun.
It sounds exactly like you think it sounds. 3 weeks. No, I love them. That's great. Don and Sally, great having you. But puzzles will be there Tuesday and Thursday. The puzzle update.
All right.
Sorry.
Any other notes on hockey?
I am buzzing.
On hockey or just
no,
the game
we'll see what happens
whatever?
against the Sharks. I thought they were better. I do think, honestly, Tuesday's a winnable game, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Yeah. But for now, we'll take the losses.
The midway point is almost here.
The midway point is literally this week.
Yep.
It's here. So once we get the punch card back in order, we'll actually be able to see it.
Timothy, they deserve a trophy, or is it a statue? If you know, you know,
if
Karen.
you know, you absolutely know.
Yep.
All right. Well, we appreciate you all for joining us here live in the chat, whether you're watching live or after or listening on audio. Like and subscribe, follow, leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts as well. And you can follow us on Twitter. Follow PHNX Sports, first of all, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, all of it. And then follow PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter. And then follow each of us at S. Peters Hockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Jacob_Franklin4. Right? Crushed it. So hopefully you'll get some updates on his wife probably having a baby any day now. Can't wait for mini Faj.
Mini Faj.
Can't wait. But we appreciate you all so much. We'll be off tomorrow, back live Tuesday after the San Jose Sharks game. So we'll see you then, everybody, and have a great rest of your night.